Hello and welcome to Symphony. Symphony Entertainment Gaming and Arts is a gaming company that focuses on horror storytelling, indie games, organic content, and player agency to bring a symphonic approach to horror role-playing. I'm your host, Amy, and this afternoon we are playing the second half of our A Fear Within stream. It's an indie RPG published by Desks and Dorks, created by Kyle Ott, who will be our GM for tonight. As we discussed last time, if you saw it, if you did not, I'll go over it again. This is a special stream for Mental Health Awareness Month. We really appreciate you being here and being open to having these discussions, even within the context of horror games. I think it can bring just an extra element when you talk about and bring awareness to mental health and what's going on for people. So during the stream, the bot will be sharing a bunch of different resources that we collected for organizations that do education, advocacy, support resources. They are mostly US based because that's where we are. However, Help Guide is a big resource directory, and that has a lot of international resources as well. So please check that out. As we go through this, our content warnings for tonight are violence, death, children in scenes of emotional, psychological, and physical distress, grief, mourning, aging, and trypophobia. So please, as players, I'll talk about it in a second. We have safety tools, but as viewers, take time for yourself if you need it. You can always take a break, take a step away, get a drink of cold water, do what you need to do in order to keep yourself safe, okay? One quick announcement, Symphony Entertainment has a Patreon. If you like this content and would like to help us create more, please back the Symphony on Patreon. You can check it out on patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. Content warnings have been discussed with cast and crew as well. The X card is in play. X's can be sent via private message. No judgment passed, no questions asked. It's just a way to say, hey, I'm not comfortable with what's going on. Let's change it up. We'll also be using the green, yellow, red traffic light method, which can be called by any cast member at any time. Boundaries like this help us stay safe in our gaming because we know when our other cast members and our GM feel safe knowing we're going to say something. If something is wrong, they can push us to new directions and new places because they know that we're able to say, hey, like this is a yellow. We gotta swerve right now, or hey, this is a green, let's go. Without further ado, we are going to unveil our cast again. Cast members, please introduce yourselves. Tell us where people can find you and some of the things that you do. Perry's up first.
Hello all. Forgive me if I'm a little slow this morning. I'm Perry Clark, licensed marriage and family therapist. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. I have my private practice, which is Untangle and Grow Counseling. I also have my podcast, which is Untying Knots, Minds and Souls Untethered. I've just gotten back from KublaCon and working with the Knights of the Fourth Wall last night, doing a mega dungeon, which was 30 players, 5 tables, 3 acts, done over 8 hours. So my voice is probably a little thrashed at the moment. But the Colonel will be here.
Okay, and throw it over to Jex.
Hey, I'm Jex Thomas. I use they, them pronouns. I am a clinical social worker. I'm also the designer of Bump in the Dark, a Forged in the Dark game about hunting monsters. The crowdfunding campaign goes live on BackerKit in 8 days, 19 hours, 50 minutes, 55 seconds. Not that anyone's counting. I think that's all I've got.
Okay, Brent, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Brent Adams. I'm a licensed professional clinical counselor out of Ohio. I work around Eastern Ohio. I've been a hobbyist of general pen and paper gaming for about 15 years now. And I regularly stream with Myth Brigade on Tuesday evenings where we're doing the Fall of London, which is Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. So if you ever get the chance, check it out. We have a lot of fun, and we're nearing the end of that campaign, moving into another sci-fi campaign coming up. But we'll have some news about that in the future. And that's me.
And throwing it over to Kyle.
Hello, everyone. I am Kyle Ott. I am the founder and lead designer for Desks and Dorks. We are an indie publisher. We make role-playing games much like this one. Coincidentally enough, if you like this game and you like the amazing performances of this cast, who are truly incredible, you can go ahead and go over to itch.io. We are doing a sale in conjunction with our partnership for this month with Symphony. So again, if you would like these games at a pretty steep discount, you can get them over there. Otherwise, you can find us on YouTube, all the other socials. It's Desks and Dorks. Two quick things as well before we get deep into the playing. A huge thank you to Symphony for supporting us and supporting indie role-playing games. If you want to show us some love, the best thing that you can do is show Symphony some love. And so if you're going to show your love to one thing today, or one individual, one group today, please show it to Symphony, because they do a really great job of promoting this stuff. And then a huge thank you again, and go check out all the cool stuff that these cast members do, because this was a really great game of Fear Within last time, and I think it's going to be a pretty good game this time. So very fortunate to the group of people that I've got to play with today.
And I am Amy. I am a mental health professional in my day job and one of my side jobs. And my other side job is editor for Desks and Dorks. Actually, Fear Within was my first official editing credit. So this game has a very special place in my heart, and I appreciate you all being here to watch us play. Let's go, Kyle.
So a little bit of catch up, both for the players and for the lovely audience at home. When we last left off in A Fear Within, we were at Camp Wayward Pines. Unfortunately for the children at Camp Wayward Pines and for their entities, we discovered that there is an entity or a being in here called Fear that seems to be preying on the campers. Initially, we thought that was an axe-wielding murderer, the one who took care of a small child named Billy Masterson. At the end of last session, we found out that Billy Masterson is in fact the axe-wielding murderer himself, and that many of the campers, although we're not entirely sure how many campers and counselors, are actually the monsters. When we last left off, we found ourselves in Amelia's shadow dimension, helping to nurse a wounded Billy Masterson back to health. As one more thing for the rules, and this is Holden and Colonel Bravo, what I need for you all right now is to actually roll your d8s and tell me what the result is. Because you are coming off of a merge, which means that you were allowed to break the rules of the game. It's how you fought Mr. Billy Masterson. However, that means that there's going to be some consequences in a later scene, and we'll talk about those in a second. But I need those hidden rules. Again, if you're joining us for the first time, hi, welcome, you're beautiful. But again, we use a relationship-based system on the D8, which means that our characters feel a certain way about each other. The higher the number they feel, the better. But again, those numbers are hidden from the players. I, as the game master, get to know them. So that is the funniest thing in the entire world, and I love it. Cool.
I don't like when you say things like this.
You should. When I say things like that, it's absolutely phenomenal. So we're going to pick up. We're in Amelia's shadow dimension. Amelia, can you do me a huge favor and describe what your shadow space looks like again for our good audience before we get into it?
Yeah, so if I remember correctly, we actually sort of made it to look like Dorothy's attic. So it's not a, not a very big space, kind of fairly sparsely furnished, but I think a place that feels safe, or safe enough for now.
Yes, and you have a convalescing Billy on what looks to be like, it's not like quite a fainting couch, but it's fainting couch adjacent enough. And then of course Woody, the sentient axe, is sort of hopping up and down. And that, I believe, is where we are going to start with. Does anybody want to start off our first scene? Anyone have an idea of how they'd like this to go before I just assign it to someone?
Oh, God.
You want? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, go for it. And like I said, Billy's acquiescing on a couch, convalescing on a couch. Woody is a little bit agitated.
Okay, so let me get this straight. As straight as we can. Some people are husks. Really, really hate the use of that word, by the way, just throwing it out there. So some people are husks and some people aren't husks. And the people that are probably husks are the people in the missing kid posters that we've seen. And they're husks because something is a hive infesting. Oh, I don't like the words we're using. Amelia, help, please.
I don't know how to eat the words, Dorothy.
That's a good point, but I appreciate you.
You could eat it with a spoon or maybe a fork.
Woody seems to be very happy to be around other entities.
Other people.
Yeah, other like his people, where he's just like, "Oh, you're like me. Hello, I love it," and he's just kind of hopping up and down.
We
So-
do.
So all those people that that we saw hanging from the trees when we were coming up to the to the construction site, were those the husks?
I told you not
Is
to
that
look
what
at
they
those,
look like?
Holden.
I couldn't help it. I had to take a peek eventually.
Yeah, near as I can tell, there's. Billy tries to get up off the couch and fails epically.
You should probably lay down. And
Yeah,
Amelia, do we have band-aids here?
That's a good option.
We
Um,
should get you a doctor, like a doctor.
I don't think I can bring a doctor here, but kind of conjures up a band-aid. Dorothy, we have another problem though. I've never taken people here like this before. I don't know if we can leave.
Oh.
No.
Woody left before?
Yeah. Well, sorry about that. I realized I kind of cut open. Are you okay? I meant to ask that. I sort of cut open a part of you, I think, on the way out. It wasn't
Oh,
anything
wait, don't
personal.
do
I
that.
thought you were the fear.
It's okay. I'm okay.
Oh, that's good. I'm really great. I'm sorry. I haven't introduced myself formally.
And he sticks out two little stick figure arms and tries to like shake your hand with both of his tiny ones, because his hands are really just like, they're comically small. Like, imagine stick figure hands on an actual axe. And that's essentially what you've got. Two googly eyes, one on either side. Woody is not a being that has been made with any true sense of understanding of how the real world or tools work.
My name is
He's a
Woody.
product of the 60s.
Oh, a product of the 60s. I was.
And he like tries to like look at his own like stump the bottom of the axe. He goes,
I am a product of Home Depot. I don't know what that means.
It's Depot,
Oh,
technically.
I'm a product of Depot.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it makes
home-
more sense.
Never mind.
Oh, okay. Hello and pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Woody. We've met before, albeit briefly and violently.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I hurt your friend.
Oh no, it's okay. Billy's never really been a personable one, so I keep trying to tell him he needs to make a couple more friends and open up a little more. You'd think after 35 years of being stuck here, we'd figure that out, but
Stuck?
not really. Huh?
Duck?
Yeah, stuck.
Fighting that thing, scaring
Billy-
people away.
Billy kind of like raises his head. We've been here a while. Near as I can tell, this thing exists out of time. Some of the people, the kids, are from different. Well, if I had he like kind of reaches into his pocket and pulls out a missing kids poster. It's the one for Brittany. And it's clear that she went missing like sometime in the 40s.
Oh,
Has she been here for that long, or did she fall out of time to here?
It's a bunch of timey-wimey garbage. The other
Yeah.
ones,
Should lay down.
yeah. My other friends tried to figure it out before. The Wayward Five. I think that's what they still call this.
yeah, you guys are like a campfire story now.
Oh, that's terrifying.
It is.
Yeah, Clark always had a better idea for it. Loved his science textbooks and stuff. Something about dimensions and quantum physics, and I don't understand any of it.
Clark, like Mr. Clark?
Yeah, I think. So the thing, near as I can tell it, Woody, do you want to explain it to them? You understand this nonsense.
I don't understand anything. Oh, well, yes, Colonel Bravo, what's up?
I'll reach out and take the missing picture of Brittany, and I want to look at look into its shadows.
Absolutely, give me a roll.
Don't worry, everybody.
Uh,
Colonel Bravo can do anything.
That's a 5.
That is a pass.
And is there any evidence of shadows or entities in the picture
not an
behind
entity,
Brittany?
but it is entirely like the shadows behind her are wonky. They are weird. They are not okay. Something is clearly messed up with what's going on in the background there.
So this is, you said 40. Wait, when did this camp get created again?
That's the weird part. Supposedly, when I'm playing fast and loose with my own timeline, but this camp was around when I was a kid. So 60, 62,
1862 or 19?
1962. No, I'm not like the Revolutionary War. Come on, kid.
Oh,
Theo's kid's an adult now.
Wait, Theo made it out?
Per
The
the
only
story, he
one.
never went with you.
Yeah, but Theo made it out of the camp.
Yeah.
Billy tries to get up and like goes to grab you by both shoulders and literally winds up collapsing into a pile. Oh,
I'm gonna try
man.
and catch him.
Yeah, go for it. You don't even have to make a roll for it. You wind up, this adult is like slumped over. He is so much heavier than he looks.
And I will step over and get you back under the table there,
Thank
or
you,
onto
Colonel.
the beanbag. There we go. See, let's get you comfortable.
The memory's foggy, but there was 5 of us. Whatever that thing was, it was hell-bent on getting all 5 of us. I think it's trapped here.
So if it didn't get Theo, it may have gotten Bradley.
And it didn't get me.
Why would Theo send his kid back to camp?
I don't know.
yeah, that's crazy. Nobody, if Theo had weird experiences, then why would he send his own kid? Unless Mr. Bradley's in on it somehow. No, Mr. Bradley's the
Or-
nicest adult in the camp.
Or perhaps this thing's got some sort of influence it can exert against the parents
Maybe.
I mean,
once they become adults.
also like Holden and I both have
Friends.
entities, friends that can't be super common, and it seems like maybe a lot of kids here do.
The other 5 of us, Adam, all 4 of us did, or all 4 of the other kids did. Theo had one. It was like a picnic basket with legs. I don't even know how to describe the darn thing.
Kind of lame.
Yeah, tell me about it. We used to clown on him. We would have if he wasn't so sickly. We stopped eventually.
Yeah, because it's mean. Should clown on people, especially when they have a hard problem. Right, Amelia?
Sure.
New best friend.
Bradley, remember, Bradley could kind of see us sometimes. What does that mean? Or hear us, at least. Me and Colonel Bravo.
I don't know. It's possible maybe Theo's... What do you call yours?
We're referred to as
Oh.
friends.
Oh,
Well, we call them friends.
we used to call ours just... Woody, what did Clark used to call you guys?
Oh, spectral forces, or in some cases, spectrogramical entities.
Yeah, I like friends way better. That's way it makes way more sense.
Can I take
Although
the
you may have
band-aid
been more
Amelia
accurate.
gave me and
Yeah, of
put
course.
it on her?
On Amelia? Sure.
Because I remembered that Woody kind of chopped her, and now I'm like, here you go.
Thanks, Dorothy.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have forgotten you got hurt.
I'm fine. I didn't really get hurt the way you can get hurt.
Doesn't mean it doesn't feel good, or doesn't not feel good.
It's appreciated regardless.
You guys are so nice. Why don't you treat me like that?
But Billy just like is like so exhausted he doesn't even acknowledge it.
Yeah,
Bi-
Mr. Billy,
Doc-
you need a doctor.
You need a real doctor.
Listen, if I go out of there, we're going to be sitting ducks. I don't know how much or how many of those people are actually, what'd you call them earlier? Husks?
I
Yeah.
don't like that word. You used it earlier.
Feels like a fitting word. They're
It
basically
does.
just skin suits stuffed with whatever that thing is.
Oh,
I mean, you heard the dripping, right?
yeah.
That's not blood. The viscosity of that liquid is. Oh Christ! I sound like Clark.
Mhm. Like, is it like viscosity of the liquid is like honey? Ew.
Or chocolate
It
syrup.
is. Yeah, chocolate syrup. We used to call them Sunday folks.
Sunday, folks.
Sunday folks.
Wait, you knew that there were Sunday folks back in your day?
We fought a couple of them. Yeah, it's hard to remember. It was me, and Theo, Clark. There were two other ones. There was a woman. I don't know. Hard to remember.
Do you have the picture, Holden?
I do. So I reach into my like little backpack I carry with me and I pull it out. I'm like, here you are, the Wayward Five.
Colonel Bravo, since you passed on the check earlier, you're the only one that notices. To everyone else, the woman in the picture looks completely different. You see the woman in the picture, Colonel Bravo, for who she is. It's Brittany.
Uh-oh.
See, does that ring in any bells for you?
As one of the
Kylee?
Wayward Five.
Well, there's Clark. Look at that little dork. And there's me, Theo. Why can't I remember the woman? Why can't I remember the girl?
When I look at that picture, that's Brittany.
Wait, what?
I'll
That
hold up the
doesn't-
missing poster. That's Brittany, and that's Brittany in the picture Holden has as well. And I
Doesn't
point
look
to
like
the
Brittany.
The wanted poster that you're holding, by the way, Colonel Bravo, the clothes seem to shift to fit the actual picture.
Did anyone else see that?
Yeah, everybody did.
That's weird.
I
Wait,
don't
is
like
Brittany the spy, or was Brittany the thing all along, or something?
Wait a minute, Amelia. We found the quarry based off the notes we found in the archive club. How did you find out about the quarry, which led us to where Billy is or was?
Brittany told me.
Maybe us not leaving here isn't a problem anymore. Maybe this is a good place to just stay
Well,
Doesn't it
I'm
hurt
gonna
you
just
to
stay
have
here
us in here?
forever.
Amelia, we can't stay in your dark place forever. I mean, I know you like it here, but I mean,
No, I don't like it here, but I don't. Dorothy, I'm not going to let anything happen to you.
Well, I don't want to let anything happen to you either. I'm sorry I left you here for so long.
Doesn't matter what happens to me.
Yeah, it
Here's
does.
Here's a question for you, Amelia, because I'm not as familiar with your abilities. If we were to leave this space, will we leave it in the exact same place we left from? Or could we leave your space from a different location?
I don't know. I've never done this before. Before I've just eaten people and they end up in the void, and I don't know. We could try it.
The one psychologist said you were a manifestation of my anger issues.
Yeah.
I just wanted to rewind that for a second. Did you say you eat people?
Just
That's what we called it, Dorothy and I,
Just-
but it's not.
But no, it's very literal. I felt teeth made of shadow sink into my very being.
there's not really mastication involved.
No, that was really impressive. I didn't feel myself getting chewed at all, but still digested somehow. Really, it was kind of impressive, Amelia.
She mostly just makes it quiet for me when I need it. She
The
went away
people-
for a little bit and came back when everything happened last year. So we're still not really sure about everything.
Don't disappear forever, for what it's worth.
Oh, well, that's good. I just look at Colonel Bravo and I whisper, "Get me out of here.
We
Gotta
can
get out of
hear
here."
you.
It's like that whispering a little too loud. Get out of here.
If you want, I know it was probably painful, but you're welcome to use me to rip open some of the shadow stuff if we're trying to get to a different area.
But the problem is, what are we gonna do?
Um,
Is Brittany evil or is she just a husk now? And how did Theo get out? And if he got out, why would he send his kid back? That doesn't seem good. And who's the other person? Because you keep forgetting them. And I really don't like it when people get forgotten. It makes me very stressed out. And I can't get quieter.
Billy
if
looks
I'm
at you and
already
like just puts like one hand on your head, and you realize just how massive and gnarled this guy's hands are. Like he looks like he has been like basically like taking the business end of a weed whacker to his palms for years. Look, kid, you seem like a decent sort, but I don't know why Theo sent his kid back. And I don't know why my memory keeps slipping. But I do know we had a plan. So this place used to dorky child, Clark 2.
Holden.
Oh, yeah, Holden. That's right. You got the archives, right? You been there before?
Yeah, I actually organized them really well.
Love that. There should be old maps. Place used to be a network of coal mines back in the day. Clark found blasting powder. Dynamite.
Yeah. Were you gonna blow up the coal mines?
He starts to like kind of sketch a map. He actually kind of looks at Amelia for a second. Can I you can make like a little thanks.
Mhm.
Holden
What do
has
you
a
make
map.
that lets him draw, Amelia?
I think it's like charcoal.
Perfect.
I
sketches
pull
out
the map.
He sketches out the border of the camp. Near as we could tell, at least back when we all got here, all of the disappearances when we were here took place all in the same area. He draws out X's right around the quarry, right around some of the areas that you were at.
Is the quarry its hive?
That's what Clark thought. Two things we figured out was that time doesn't seem to work for this thing, whatever this thing is. And the other issue is that it seems like it's stuck here. Like it can't push past.
Who's the other person in the picture?
I don't know.
Is it eating your memories?
I've been here for so damn long, I don't even know.
It killed Mr. Shank, and then all of a sudden Mr. Clark was there and everybody forgot about Mr. Shank.
Shank?
Yeah. He was
Shank! Shank! How did I forget Shank?
Oh, he's in that picture too.
Thomas Shank, he was my best friend. We got in so much trouble. Shank.
I hate to tell you this, but our first night here, you took him out in the camp kitchen.
Did he have the syrup kind of thing?
Yeah.
There was the chocolate syrup on the ground oozing, and then yeah.
But before Bradley showed up, we saw it as blood. Then it became the chocolate sauce.
I think likes to play tricks on us. If it turned into the syrup, then Shank's gone.
I'm
Wait,
sorry.
so when you kill a husk, you killed the very memory of a person? That's messed up.
No, I think the thing takes care of the memory of him. I just take care of whatever's left.
Does that mean Mr. Clark is your Clark?
I think so.
How do we tell if he's a husk or not? Or Sunday person?
I don't know. I follow him around usually for a couple hours, and then when they start doing sketchy stuff, I just...
I mean, you're kind of sketchy. Like, what's your judge level on that?
Well, his judge level's not great. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I love you, Billy, but you've been going through it for like, a while.
For long, I believe episode 119 was talking about something called trauma. PTSD.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah,
got
I
all
got-
of that. You got pre-TSD and post-TSD and honestly, whatever other P words I can come up with, but you got it, buddy.
That's why he still has a friend, even though he's an adult. Grown-ups aren't.
Meant to have friends, like we have friends.
Yeah,
Did your
Colonel
trauma
Bravo
make
isn't
you
going to be
stuck?
with you forever.
Billy looks at you, Amelia, and for the first time, you realize that he really sees you. And not just the you that's like the little child, the you that is the shadow that is the child, right? You're aware that this is a person who is staring through every single layer of your being and understands it on an intrinsic level. And he just looks at you and he goes, yeah. I don't think people like me are supposed to have people like Woody.
Amelia extends a kind of shadowy tendril and just kind of like pats your shoulder.
But I
And he
don't
sort of,
want Amelia to go away.
it's a good thing. It means that you're better. It means that you're at a place where you can make your own way. And
So she came back because I got worse.
yeah.
No, Dorothy, that's not how you should think of it. I came back because you needed me, that's all.
I always needed you. I'm sorry that I left you for so long.
No, it doesn't feel like that to me.
Hey, kid, you're lucky. Seriously.
I mean, I'm at a creepy camp with no clocks and something that eats people and makes them husks, and we're probably stuck and don't know actually how to get out of my imaginary friend's void of doom. I say void of doom because it's cool, Amelia, not because I think it's bad, right? This really doesn't seem great.
Hey, kid, you want to be stuck at the murder camp without Amelia?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I mean, if I could figure out how to do what, like, it was crazy. It's like I could do everything that Bravo could do during the entire run of his show, all at once. There, for it was like and I just knew I could handle any problem, even fighting against, well, when I thought you were an evil lumberjack murderer.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of how Woody and I have been for the last 20 years.
That seems hard. We're not meant to run at 100% all the time.
Yeah, we were kind of burning the candle at both ends and then sticking a wick in the middle and then burning that part too.
With dynamite.
Yeah. Oh, I love dynamite. Oh, tell us about the dynamite again.
Oh yeah, we gotta do the dynamite.
We have to find the dynamite.
We have to find the thing. If it's
Yeah.
just in everybody, does that mean we have to kill everybody?
I think if we hit the hive, I think it'll be all right.
I have this feeling there's some other piece of this puzzle, because this is definitely a puzzle that we're missing. That might be useful.
Why is it playing with the Wayward Five?
Maybe it needs entities. I don't know. Friends, as you call them.
Unresolved business.
If it took out Shank, it has his friend. If it took out Clark, it has his friend. If it took out Brittany, it has hers.
Do you think Brittany's gone?
I,
She couldn't really see Amelia.
I don't know. But I know you're not going to do much more if you're still in here. And he kind of like raises himself up and grabs he grabs Woody by the handle.
Billy?
Amelia, you want to spit us out somewhere?
If you can spit us out at the archive, I think that's useful.
Yes. I mean, I did take a map from the archive. I can make some notes on it based on what you put there on that blank sheet of paper, and I'll pull it out of my backpack and unroll it, and just be like, if Amelia, you could get us close to somewhere where we can, if the dynamite's just still been sitting there, and if time doesn't matter, maybe the dynamite will still be good. Does dynamite go bad?
Dorothy, you notice that Amelia looks so scared, like more scared than you've ever seen. Like she's like on the verge of a panic attack. I don't know if I can.
I'm gonna hold her hand. It's okay. Just like you tell me, we just gotta breathe. If you can do it, you can. If you can't, you can't. It's okay.
And as she exhales, everyone is momentarily falling through darkness.
Huh?
Wee!
I don't know where they land.
Tell you what, can you give me a roll, please?
Mm-hmm. 7.
7. I tell you what, it is going to spit you out, not at the quarry, but on top of the roof of the dining hall.
This wasn't exactly part of the plan, but I mean, at least we're not in the dark place anymore.
It could have been worse.
You did good, Amelia. Thank you.
Thanks for helping me.
Always.
Well, that's the truth. It turns out that friends and people, we need each other.
So that being said, should we divide and conquer?
I think dividing might be bad.
All right. I think there's something in the archives we need to go back and find before we find the dynamite.
Yeah, and we gotta avoid talking to anybody because anyone could be one of those husk things. Mr. Bradley, even though he's real cool. Brittany, definitely. Yeah. Mhm. Like he's real cool. He gave me a good noodle point.
Okay.
But I mean, once we get from the archives, we can just go straight to the cave system and figure out how to blow all that stuff up. But Billy, are you gonna even be able to walk?
He picks up Woody. That should be all right.
If time is weird, can we somehow trick time into healing you?
Maybe. Near as I can tell, best thing I can do might be to go cause a distraction. It already knows that I'm a threat, and it knows where I'm at, and it knows Woody.
Oh, Colonel Bravo, in season 3, episode 11. Remember when you did that field medicine?
Okay.
On that wounded soldier?
Oh, yes. Let's see if I can do this. And I will materialize a med kit.
How?
You
He
can't
looks
do
at-
cool things like that?
No, I actually cut open tears in space, which is why when Billy throws me sometimes, he just teleports to wherever I'm at.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Billy, do you think you might be causing the time weirdness?
Oh, he takes the med kit and starts sewing up like a giant gash in his side.
Oh, babysitting first aid did not prepare me for this.
Avert your eyes, children. Avert your eyes.
No, Woody's power works on space, not time. Distance stops being a thing, and in some case, physics or gravity at least.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's patch you up. Then could you probably teleport us from here to the archives?
I can try it.
And
You watch as he like literally stitches every like he's like this. You slowly watch the skin come together,
Amelia, tell me when he's done.
and he like bites part of the thread. Like this guy has just been living out in the wilderness, like he's some sort of like Vietnam
You're gonna
guerrilla
need
fighter.
so much group therapy.
Yeah, tell me about it, kid. I've been here for a while. Hey, Colonel Bravo, I know you're a children's show one. Any chance I could get like whiskey or like rubbing alcohol?
Rubbing alcohol I can do. Whiskey, well, that was against the age limits and the
Yeah,
censors.
no, I figured to be against the Hays Code, but whatever.
Yeah,
Wait,
well,
why can't
here's a-
you do alcohol? You can't do alcohol, but you can do a bazooka strapped to like 7 grenade launchers.
Well, yeah, because
a-
it's cool. Nothing cool. There's nothing cool about booze.
Yeah, well, again, we're in America. We have a very different sensibilities around sex versus violence.
Ain't that the truth?
Here's the rubbing alcohol.
Great.
Wait, does that mean Bradley's been canoodling with the fear? If Brittany is a husk?
It's entirely possible.
Ugh.
Not entirely sure how husk on human action works, and to be quite frank, I'm not sure I want to think about my old friend's son getting busy with a teenager. But thanks.
I
He
mean,
lifts his entire shirt up and literally just takes the rubbing alcohol and pours it onto the open wound that he just stitched closed.
I literally am like, ooh, I can't hold it back because I'm like,
you know that kills healthy tissue, right?
You could hear, and on that note of healthy tissue, you can hear and see parts of the skin sizzling.
oh, Billy, you're as tough as Colonel Bravo is.
Kills the bad tissue.
How are you alive?
Grace of God and a lot of anger. Mostly the second one.
My therapist told me spite can be good motivation if I use it in a healthy manner.
That might be the smartest thing your therapist has ever said.
I don't know that this is healthy, though.
He looks and he goes, I'm going to show you healthy. Everybody grab on.
I grab his shirt.
Yep.
Like his back of
I'll
his
take
shirt.
a shoulder.
Dorothy Bay, what are you grabbing onto?
His arm
Love it.
away from blood.
Amelia, what are you grabbing onto?
His shadow.
Oh, I love it. That's perfect.
Woody just kind of was like, okay, no, here's the thing. Everybody, please make sure that you keep your hands, arms, and all other appendages inside the ride at all times. Thank you again to Wayward Pines Amusement Park is not liable for any.
Shut up, Woody. And he just chucks the axe as far as possible. And when you open your eyes, you are literally at the archives.
Oh, whoa.
Pretty cool. Let's go inside.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Are we good to end that scene there?
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. Please text me your new feelings towards one another.
Or Fifi's.
Dorothy May. Dorothy May.
Does whatever a Dorothy can.
Goes to Kansas. Kills a green woman. There's a dog. That's a thing.
You're welcome, chat.
This is Sing Along for the Symphony. Oh boy. All right. Okay, so you guys are outside. Do I have somebody who wants to take point?
I do.
Fantastic. I was about to ask Perry. I'm like, you seem like you have an idea for this scene, so I'm excited.
Yeah. Once we got there, it's like, and so it's just sort of taking a moment, just something that Holden had said, but then bringing back to what was going on is like, it was something that was said between Billy and Amelia that something thought him stuck in my head. And back to my original question is, when was this place built? Let's look at that, because I'm having this strange feeling, because the question Amelia brought up was about Billy being stuck and still needing Woody.
Yeah.
What if something was stuck here at its founding for a similar reason?
Well, I noticed that Billy, and again, Holden's whispering way too loud. Billy said this was built in the 1960s, yet Brittany disappeared in the 1940s. That makes no sense.
Exactly. That's why I want to go back to the archives and see what the earliest records are.
It's like it's a good thing I already went through those archives before, but I wasn't looking for that last time. But now I have it organized, so I should be able to find it. We might need a montage for this.
All righty.
So it is my fondest pleasure to actually let not just you and Colonel Bravo know, but Dorothy and Amelia know that you are all merged at
Oh,
this
shit.
point. So
Oh.
Dorothy and Amelia, you have a matching value. But I was like, oh, that's interesting. Dorothy and Amelia, you have a matching value. Holden and Colonel Bravo, you are merged for the second time.
I've never got a merge before. I'm so excited.
Which means at this point, for those of you in chat or those of you watching, this a couple things happen. I only can call for dice rolls as the game master in the most extreme circumstances. 2, for the most part, the rules of this game don't freaking matter anymore because they could just do whatever the heck they want. This is rule of cool made manifest. At the end of this scene, however, there are going to be consequences as a result of you all being merged. So good luck, because it's going to go in some weird places.
So we pop
I mean-
into the into the archives and all right. And on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, and we start the montage of me pulling books off the shelf and just throwing them back to a Holden.
Yeah, like cue the 80s music, like catching them out of the air and being like,
Amelia's
oh, no,
using
no,
her
no, no.
shadows to like
Oh no,
move them
no.
around.
This is the A-team build the
yes.
gear
Yeah.
music.
Never, 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 never give up.
We gotta
And
dance
just
on
start-
tables like a little bit too.
And start the books are start laying themselves out.
I have never read faster in my entire life. Oh my god, biology would have been so much easier if my brain felt like this then.
Yeah, I'll chuck a few books on landscaping and terrain over to Billy and Woody.
Billy is like powering through them. Woody is doing the Breakfast Club dance where he shimmies like this. He's just on like a crenellation of the wall, just like shimmying. He's not even reading. He's just like doing this. Billy
That's what
is
I was
too
thinking of
absorbed.
when I said dancing on tables.
Oh yeah, Billy is way too absorbed. If you would like to do it with Woody, Woody would be 1000% cool with it.
Okay, I'm gonna
If you
hold a
want,
book.
if you want to do the thing where it's
so
like,
I'm helping while I do it.
yes, absolutely, holding one book and you're switching the book every single time. Fantastic. All right. In honor of this, I will say, because you are merged, Colonel Bravo / Holden, if you would each like to ask 2 questions about this camp and its layout, I am willing to answer those questions as truthfully as possible.
That's a
'Cause
very
being
precious
merged is
gift.
great.
You got some, Bravo.
Is there any information about the original founder of the camp and their story?
There is no information about the original founder of the camp and their story. From what you can tell, though, this camp was not founded until like 1945, and it seems like it was a stockpile for old World War II ordnance.
That's interesting.
So that's question 1 answered. Perry, you have another question.
I'll give it to.
Well, you both have 2,
Oh,
so Holden gets
yeah.
2 and you get 2.
I got one that's a
I'm
little bit
thinking about-
more
Okay.
speculative
Yeah, I'm thinking-
while you're thinking
Think about that
it.
second question. Go.
All right, so my first one is going to be, historically, as far as I can find in this camp, was there an event? For example, my character's kind of likes movies. Is it like Little Shop of Horrors, like a meteor came down from the sky, reports of unidentified flying objects, or something that might indicate where this entity even came from in the first place?
There is nothing that indicates where you think the entity may have come from. However, it does seem that when the camp is initially founded, in the 40s, weird stuff starts happening about a year or 2 after that. There are newspaper clippings from the local town. You notice kids start going missing. Animals start going missing right around that time.
Ah, okay.
So whatever has been here for about 40 years your time.
40 years our time.
Yes.
And it was founded in 45, right?
Yeah.
And what was the
Because
name?
we said this was 85. Am I correct?
88.
88.
Yeah.
Okay.
88.
So close to 40 years your time then.
And what was the date on Brittany's missing poster?
So Perry, it initially appeared like it was in the 40s and then it corrected itself
Mhm.
after your successful roll. So you notice it does line up with when Billy and the Wayward Five were here.
This thing is trying to obfuscate the timeline.
Yes, it is.
Sneaky,
Mhm.
sneaky, sneaky.
And then was that your second question, Perry? I feel like that's
No,
a fair-
I was just-
yeah,
I was
I was
trying
gonna
to
say
recall
that's
that-
connected to a previous roll. So
Yeah, I was trying to recall the data on
Yep.
that one. Huh.
Meanwhile, while they're thinking of some questions, what is Amelia and Dorothy doing other than shimmying with Woody the sentient axe?
I want to read about creatures that have a hive mind.
Sure. You're specifically if you can find a cool way to use your powers just by the roll, I'll just give you some crazy stuff. How are you using Amelia's powers to the best of how are you using your powers to the best of your ability? Because they're your powers now too.
Dorothy May doesn't like to be forgotten. So she's always liked the idea of like, you know, learning about animals that live in family groups and things like that, but never like a hive because it feels like a loss of identity in some way. So kind of like looking into the shadows of what's going on with like animals and things. How do you lose yourself in another person or another group? How do you become forgotten while still existing?
So you find some interesting stuff on social structures, particularly social structures of communes, in the late Middle Ages / early Renaissance, and how that sort of cult-like activity wound up being very integral to the destruction of self. You also read very much about the origin of ant colonies, and how in bee colonies there are at least individualized roles, but in ant colonies there is just simply drone and queen. And that strikes you as much more terrifying than the other stuff. And also weirdly much like the cults that you're reading about.
Amelia,
Yeah.
are you getting this?
Yeah. Dorothy, I feel kind of weird. Like, and I think Amelia's actually connected to Dorothy's shadow.
Amelia, I don't want to be a drone.
No, I don't either.
When you look at the map, what do the shadows look like?
Gonna put that back to Kyle. What do they look like when I look at the map?
That's an excellent question. To the naked eye, they wouldn't look like a whole lot of anything, but to you, you realize that there is underneath sort of the center of the camp, almost eerily like the spokes on a wagon wheel connecting to the center of it. At the center of camp, there is a mass of shadow. Coincidentally enough, Amelia, because you have access to Dorothy May's experiences, and the things that she has seen and the things that you have seen together, you notice that a lot of those paths that trace back to it seem to follow the same lines of the mine and quarry paths that you are already familiar with.
I don't think that these are regular mines. This is
An anthill?
something like that.
Hey guys.
Oh yeah.
Hmm?
So just throwing it out there. We might be standing on the confluence of an evil anthill.
Or an evil beehive, if you want to go with the bee thing.
Bees have
No.
individuated roles.
Yeah.
Ants are drone and queen.
Oh. Yeah, but don't ants have queens?
Bees have other roles. They get to do other things.
Yeah, that's true. So like an anthill.
Of shadows
Mhm.
that eat time
Mhm.
and forgotten ones.
So as though like really thinking about it, Holden's going to be like, wait, that means that there must be an optimal path to get to where the central part of this anthill is. So, second question, flooded with the tactical information I got from Colonel Bravo, can I try to figure out what would be the most optimal entrance to
I
get
am absolutely
to
okay
it?
with you using that as your last remaining question. Yes.
All right, rock on.
Fantastic. Yeah, actually, you notice that using the collated knowledge that you have gathered and the powers of Amelia and her shadow knowledge, you realize there was actually a tunnel underneath the dining hall that used to be an old bunker access tunnel. That's probably the fastest way to do it.
But we're gonna need the explosives, right?
So I'll use my second question there based off of the knowledge of the bunker, the anthill, the former mining aspect, and perhaps military aspects. Where would have been a good place for them to have kept the blasting powder?
That is an excellent question. The blasting powder is kept very close to the dining hall, in a separate supply cache, underneath something, Colonel Bravo, that you and every single individual here is very, very familiar with. The cache of blasting powder and
Under the
dynamite
trap
caps and
post?
not under the tray post. It's under the Slappy
The
Salmon cabin.
Happy.
You gotta be effing me. I can't believe it.
You can say fucking. We're
No, I'm
probably
done.
gonna get eaten by a giant anthill.
That's it, my mom says that only bad behaviored people say words like that.
The son of a fucking bitch. I can't believe we were all sleeping on top of blasting powder all those years.
Wait, all of your friends came from the Slappy Salmon? Of course you did. Of course, it makes sense.
Billy looks at you and just very, very tiredly fishes into his pocket and pulls out 5 Slappy Salmon badges.
Take yours off.
Oh,
Told him take.
I take it off.
Dorothy, take yours off too.
And take it off.
Leave those as here. Episode 62.
The tracking devices.
Were
Of
hidden in
course.
the jewelry.
Yeah,
Can I-
It's probably some communist. I mean, entity spies put, but put tracking devices in here somehow. The badges.
In the
which were given to us
archive
by
club,
Bradley.
can I look for mentions of Theo?
Yeah, absolutely. Just give me a roll real quick. Actually, no, you're merged. Forget rolls. I don't even know. I have no power here now. Just tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. What you really, really want.
He's a
Sorry, about
sickly
10 years
kid,
early.
right? So
yeah, he's a
he
sickly kid.
probably, had to stay in camp a little bit more. I'm not saying that people cannot work with their abilities in other stations, whatever. But like he probably stayed in camp more and they've called him a nerd. So like maybe he was in archive club, like writing something down.
There's no marks of Theo, like there's no camp reports of Theo, but when you look back at the Archive Club reports, the Archive Club official newsletter is run, edited, and distributed by Theo. Theo is the one that put all of this information down. So like the shortest route to the center, the location of all the blasting powder, that's all Theo.
See, I told you Archive Club was cool.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it was the key to everything. I just cross my arms and smile.
Why did he send his son back to the anthill?
Okay, here's a theory. And it's a wild one. And again, I come from a cartoon. What if Bradley isn't Bradley, but is actually Theo?
Timey-wimey.
Wibbly
Wibbly-wobbly
wobbly.
bits.
Yeah.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's very bad because that means that he's working with the entity. I mean,
Is it?
with the fear thing.
Or is he trapped
He may be trapped.
and trying
is
to
it-
protect the cabin?
You all hear a crunching coming from outside.
Okay, we got to get out of here.
Is there a back door?
There is
Actually-
a back door, yes. Sorry,
Or
what was that, Colonel
Billy?
Bravo?
Or Billy, can you get us out of here faster? Over back
I-
to this slappy, to the cabin, the slappy.
Slappy salmon cabin.
Thank you.
I can try, but guys, I think we got big problems.
Didn't we already have big problems?
I'm gonna wipe some of the dust off the window because I'm sure this hasn't been taken care of. And I'm gonna look out the window and see.
Can I lock the door?
As you look out the window, a shotgun blast breaks the window near you. You poke your head right back out, Holden / Colonel Bravo, since you are one entity at this point. You are surrounded on all sides by campers sort of shuffling lifelessly, by counselors moving like they're being controlled by invisible marionette strings.
Yep, Billy, we need your method.
Amelia, how
Dorothy, you can
hungry
feel
are
it.
you?
You can feel it, can't you? How hungry we are.
Do you think we can do it?
And everything gets bathed in shadows.
Absolutely. So there is about 40 individuals there. Are you doing all of them?
If we can.
What do you mean if you can? You're merged. You tell me, Amelia. You
And,
want them all or not?
Jex, like, correct me jump in whenever you want, but like I'm kind of picturing our shadows like shoving Holden Bravo to the side and then flinging open the door, and instead of me, it looks like you, but maybe a little bit older, and the shadows just kind of going out, almost like the smoke from the campfire when we told the story, and just starting to like envelop people in a way that like they're like disappearing before they can even pull a gun up.
Yeah, that's cool.
That works. That works exactly how it is. That works exactly how you say it does. I'm not so Amelia, as you consume these beings, you can hear in their brains there's the protest of no, please, I have a family. And then you realize as you get like one or two bites in that those protests are basically not coming from the thing itself, the person itself. It's coming from that liquid inside. And you realize that whatever it is once you take a couple bites of one, it stops protesting because it knows that it's not a person. And so there were about 40 of those. While all of that is happening, Colonel, on one side, the door breaks open, and Mr. Clark, busts in armed with basically a sledgehammer and a machete, and is face to face with Holden and Colonel Bravo. What do you guys do?
Bravo, take it away.
Never bring a knife to a gunfight. Materialize my full bazooka and unload.
Please describe to me how you perforate this this 56-year-old man in a onesie, essentially.
Oh, I basically spell out a large C with a very ornately positioned B in the center mass of the chest.
Full serif on the font.
Yes.
Somewhere Rambo would be proud of using word perfect on someone's chest. Yes. Mr. Clark falls to the ground, essentially leaking this liquid. That again very much resembles chocolate syrup, but with, like as Holden pointed out, with the same viscosity as honey. In an instant, you guys are alone. The cabin's windows are shattered. One of the doors is just completely and totally derailed. There's paper lying around the ground everywhere.
How full are we?
Too full. In fact, so full that you both feel like you are bursting at the seams. Like your bodies and spirits can't contain the amount that you have consumed in such a short period of time.
Colonel
I'll step up.
Bravo.
Well, step up
Something's
behind.
wrong.
Step up behind Dorothy May and just start gently patting her on the back. Is like, okay, let's let the gas out. I remember this from episode 42 when we had to take care of those babies. Come on, just
Eh,
let it out.
um,
Come on. Burp it out.
Yeah, I mean, and from Holden's end, well, exuding a massive confidence, just like let some of them out. We can handle it.
What
Good.
what if we can do what it can do? When we were learning about how it works, it doesn't sound that different than me. Maybe we can puppet. I don't know.
You mean fill up the husks with your darkness?
Who looks useful?
Just be careful, Dorothy May. Just because you have the abilities doesn't mean you're going to take the same path it did. What if that's how this all started in the first place? You too, Amelia.
So
Something got
full.
stuck.
Dorothy and Amelia, you don't notice that, but Dorothy, that liquid is leaking out of your eyes.
Amelia.
Amelia, as the liquid is leaking out of Dorothy's eyes, tendrils of shadow start coming out of her mouth, and kind of going towards out the door.
What are they going
Um,
towards?
Away.
Just away in general.
Away. But I don't know exactly what this looks like. Like if in the TV show version of this, I don't know how this would like show up on screen, right? But like,
Sure.
I'm also trying to experiment with whether I can like act on them, right? Like
Sure.
whether I can kind of control, you know.
Are you trying to
Oh.
grab the closest one? Or are you going outside to one of those that's there? Are you grabbing Mr. Clark's corpse? Like,
Yeah, we have that too.
Well, didn't we eat all
Mm.
of them?
ate all of them, yes.
The digesting part.
Because remember, you've established Amelia doesn't chew.
God damn it.
Yeah. Oh, I listen.
Hoisted by our own petard.
Motherfucker.
I love you, Jex. I knew you and I were going to get
Amelia.
along just fine.
Pick a few, spit them out.
Yeah, I think the shadow is just projectile vomiting out of Dorothy to get some of these out of us.
Yeah. And you do. So the first thing that everyone else of you sees is the bodies, which are very husk-like. The whole human part of it seems deflated almost. And then the shadows start to fill it up. How do your shadows enter into this, by the way, Amelia?
And enter into the husks.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like air filling a balloon, right? Like a deflated balloon filling up with air. And then all of a sudden one of the bodies just sits up, and then the next does, and then the next.
Very good. As this happens, Amelia and Dorothy, you realize there is a great amount of mental strain. It's almost like the echoes of the human memories from these husks are hitting you all in waves. It's voices, it's noises, it's smells, it's touch, it's sounds from all of these people's lives. By the time that you inflate, I guess, to use your terminology, the seventh one, the overwhelming cacophony of sounds and sensations is almost absolutely overwhelming.
Amelia, it's too much.
Yeah, and I think I immediately just like pull back and leave all of them.
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't work. It's not good. Not a good thing, huh?
You okay? You look overwhelmed.
How is the queen not insane? Or is
Maybe
this
she
how they
already
got
is.
there?
Like I
May-
said, you don't
maybe
have
the
to do the
fear.
same path.
maybe the fear has always been kind of insane. Maybe that's what it
Holden,
takes.
I could hear them. I could feel their loved ones and their not so loved ones touching, taking. I could hear their cries of their children and the barks of their dogs. I could hear their work days.
Can I ask a question?
Always.
Could we hear Dana?
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, no. Nope. And I think that more than anything, Amelia, is truly the most painful part of all of this.
Yeah, she's gone.
Does it mean she's dead or she's not lost anymore?
Just that she's not here. She's not one of these things.
Where is she?
You feel a little tug on your hand. And you realize, Dorothy May, that Woody has sort of hopped over to you.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, this is gonna sound weird, but so it looks like you were hoping that that thing had taken someone or something.
My friend, Dana. She disappeared last year, and that's why I broke someone's nose. It was her birthday, and everybody was acting like she didn't matter. Like I should just get over it. Like they'd already forgotten her.
Ugh. As much as I wish that maybe she was here, some people are just gone.
Maybe that's better.
Well, here's the thing, right?
And Woody hops over to the table where you guys laid your slappy salmon pins. He holds up your slappy salmon pin, and he holds up one of the ones that Billy's been carrying.
Well, Billy's been carrying all of these for as long as I've known him, ever since his friends went. Well, ever since the stuff happened to his friends. Even if a person's gone, it doesn't mean you stop carrying them with you.
Everybody else seemed to. Everybody else seemed to be okay. It was like I was the only one that couldn't handle it, couldn't forget.
Not everybody has the strength to carry the weight of someone's memory. And that doesn't make them bad people. It just means that everyone has a little bit they got to shoulder.
And he looks
It's
over at
really
Billy.
important.
He looks over at Billy for a second, and he kind of nudges his little axe.
I know, but
Sometimes, and again, he gestures over at Billy.
sometimes letting go is better for you too. I don't know your friend, and I don't think you'd forget her, but I also don't think she'd like you to live with all this.
She'd probably kick my butt.
Yeah.
Dorothy,
Yeah.
Dorothy, it's not. Maybe it's not letting go. Maybe it's just holding a little bit more lightly. Not holding so tight.
We always talked about doing high school together. Freshman year, I wasn't supposed to be alone.
Yeah.
Woody sort of nudges Holden.
Say something.
Oh, mm. Dorothy, it's like you done a lot to. I only known you for 2 days, but you done a lot to make me feel like a real good friend. I feel like I've known you for a while, actually. It's like I think that I can't really replace your friend or anything like that, but I still want to be a person that you can count on if you need some help. I don't really have a lot of friends back home. You know, chasing it. Yeah, it's true. I get into the whole trying to be the best at everything, and it messes everything up all the time. I don't know, you just make it look so easily, like so easy. You don't care about all that stuff. about like what people want you to be or do or whatever. So maybe I just looked up to that a little bit. I know you're a little bit older than me, but just like Amelia, I want to be your friend too. And I know that Captain Colonel Bravo wants to be your friend.
You're definitely a friend, Holden. Thank you.
But I never lost anybody, so I don't always know what to say about it or how to help you right now.
Sometimes you just gotta be there, I think. My parents tried, but I've just been so angry.
I get pretty angry too. I don't want it. It's like maybe I don't really want to have to always try to put on a good show for everybody all the time. I
Nobody's
don't think we
perfect
should
all the
have to put
time,
on a good
Holden.
show.
No, perfection's exhausting. Sometimes you just gotta try your best.
Yeah. And Amelia, you kind of you do a good you did a good job even if it wasn't perfect, and that's okay. Maybe it's okay not to be perfect all the time.
I know that Kylee said when we're merged that there are no rules to the game. We well, I don't know if anybody here sees it, but the viewer at home would see that the shadows that had kind of merged are unmerging. And Amelia is more physically present. And Amelia and Dorothy are no longer the same.
I don't
Billy
feel
kind
so
of-
good.
Billy kind of walks over for a second. Hey, you're not alone, kid. Trust me, as somebody who spent the last 30 some years trying to carry on the memory of his friends. He looks at Holden, Colonel Bravo, at Amelia. You got some good friends in your corner too. He takes like one of his slappy salmon pins and he pins it on himself, one of the OG ones. This one's for Theo. He tosses you one, Dorothy May. He tosses Holden a slappy salmon pin, tosses Colonel Bravo a slappy salmon pin, and he tosses Amelia a slappy salmon pin.
The Wayward Five. And Woody.
That's okay. There's nowhere to pin a pin on. I'm just happy to be included in and not wearing a potential communist listening device.
Woody.
And I try and fist bump the axe.
Absolutely. He's got tiny little arms. Yeah, of course.
See, Amelia, the charcoal. Nice, and just sort of picture point on the side of the blade. Think you can do it?
Yeah.
Good
I think
idea.
so.
And that way you
Yeah.
know it's not a communist missing device, just a good tattoo.
That's true. And I was probably wrong about the communist listening device anyway. That's pretty silly. Really.
That's okay, kid.
Remember, it's not communist, it's terrorist.
I mean,
Dorothy's gonna take the
fear-
pin to her
fear it is.
mouth and be like, "We're coming for you."
Yeah, that's right, Fear. we're gonna stop you, but we're not gonna tell you our plan though.
For the first time, probably since you have met him, Billy Masterson kind of smiles. You know, I think you crazies. I think my friends would have been proud you were wearing their slappy salmon pins. Amelia, are you finished drawing the slappy salmon logo on the side of Woody's face?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you say, everybody?
He takes like one little tiny stick figure arm and throws it into the center.
Slappy salmon on 3.
3, 2, 1.
Slappy
salmon!
Billy just kind of groans and just goes, slappy salmon. And I think that's going to be a great place for us to take a quick bio break, if that is cool with everybody. So we are going to pause right there with all of us doing essentially our best Sandlot impression.
We're going to take about a 10-minute break and then we will be back. You can take the time in the break to go over to patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment and help support us and the content that we make in this channel. Thank you.
Or go to Ducks and Dorks on Itch.io and get the
Yeah, because it's going to be cheap just for this the last week. So if you want a cheap PDF of it, this is it. it goes back to being more expensive after this weekend. So,
And look at that art. Our artist Reggie kicked it
and
out of
when
the
you-
park.
And when you read it, you can marvel at how good the editing is.
There, you put too many hyphens on the back, but okay.
It's okay. You tried to stop me.
I did.
All right. We'll see you all in 10 minutes.
Howdy, campers. Welcome back. I hope you're ready to earn those good noodle points. Okay, I can't do
Yeah,
that.
you tried.
No,
You tried
I
real
tried.
hard. You tried real hard.
I'm gonna throw it over to Kyle at this point. Thank you again for supporting Symphony Entertainment and our quest for bringing horror RPGs to more people.
Slappy salmon on 3, everybody. No, we already did it. But it's good to see everybody. We're back. When we last left off, we had said Slappy Salmon on 3. Amelia had given a sentient axe a temporary tattoo in the shape of a fish. And I believe we are being teleported via said axe back to the Slappy Salmon cabin. And that is going to be where we pick up next time. Holden and or Amelia, would one of you like to lead our next scene? Oh, and if you have not yet, campers, please make sure that you give me a roll, because Holden gave me an unmerged roll.
Oh shoot, yeah.
Because you split apart at the end of that scene.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
That's the dice.
And please know that because of the nature of that scene, I am probably going to actually, again, we're going to play fast and loose with the rules, because why not? I made the game, I can do what I want. I am probably going to modify what you have rolled. So you will be getting a message from me if your roll
Okay.
is in fact modified. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Dope.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll open the scene. So, so we're heading towards the Slappy Salmon bunkhouse to get the to get the explosives, from what I understand. And so I'm holding on. I'm kind of like pulling Dorothy along, because I have this like with this increased sense of bravery, and like Holden's like kind of like grinning ear from ear, the sense of camaraderie and actually like having a legitimate connection with people. And so I'm going to be kind of like just looking around for enemies and moving quickly from tree to tree, if Dorothy's cool with me pulling her along a little bit.
Oh yeah, Dorothy, I'm still feeling like a little nauseous. Like it felt so good when we were doing it, and then it felt so weird when we like separated again.
I'm just like, Dorothy, you remember, wasn't there an area that Mr. Bradley said that we weren't supposed to go in, the Slappy Salmon clubhouse? Oh no, wait, that's where the girls sleep, on the other side of the separator thing. Was there anywhere that he said that we're not supposed to go?
I mean, we could check under the cabin. I think the fencing is loose on that one point.
We should. That's the best idea. Let's do that.
Okay. As you guys are approaching, you hear again the telltale crunch of something underfoot.
I don't like that.
I just paused for a second. I'm like, I'm gonna look down real slow and see what we're crunching on.
There are twigs and sort of branches being snapped underfoot, and you recognize there's a silhouette underneath. They're limping, they're dragging their feet, but it is very clearly Bradley.
Like, so did I just step on Bradley? Is that what you're saying, or is there this
No, I'm
silhouette
saying
coming
that someone
towards us?
I'm saying that
Oh.
you are hearing Bradley step on something. Like, there's branches everywhere. That's how you guys heard people approaching you before in the cabin.
Ah.
No, you are not. You're not Bigfoot. At least as far as I know, that
Oh,
was
good,
not one
good,
of your
good.
entity abilities. Unless Colonel Bravo is doing his crossover episode.
There was that one time.
Listen, the Halloween special of Colonel Bravo
This
goes
one
hard.
time
always-
at band camp. Wait, different show.
I'm just gonna like out into the late. I think it's probably like late afternoon. Oh wait, is it evening?
Late afternoon. It's starting to get a little bit dark, but it's not terrible.
Oh, okay. I'll be like, Mr. Bradley.
Holden,
Holden?
Mhm.
And
why would
it's just Bradley. Oh God.
Are you all jacked up right now?
Holden, where are you? He's like looking around because I'm assuming you guys are still technically wrapped up with Amelia's shadow. Am I correct?
That's probably safer.
I'm asking the shadow creature.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
She has a name.
I'm just gonna be like, Amelia, can you let him see us?
Dorothy, this doesn't feel like a good idea.
It does look like he's clutching an open wound of some kind.
Can you just let Holden out and keep me in for a second? But close to Holden.
Looks at Colonel Bravo.
I will nod.
Yeah.
As I pull out the big gun.
Yeah.
Element of
Yeah.
surprise and all that.
So Bradley would see Holden just like stepping out of the shadows.
Holden, what did you? Holden, can you give me a roll, please?
Sure. 6.
All right. Holden, you look down at the open wound that Bradley is holding, and you realize it's just regular blood.
And well, you're actually hurt. Like that's real blood, not the goo.
Holden, what are you talking about? Yeah, of course it's real blood. What else would be in there? Kool-Aid?
You know,
Bug juice?
Evil ant vomit, I say as I step out of the shadow.
What did you?
And
Mr.
I wanted-
Bradley, we have to tell you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead if you want to go.
I was just gonna say I want to see if I can make myself visible to Bradley.
Okay. I'm going to say that, yeah, you absolutely can. What form are you taking at this moment, Amelia? Is
The
the
little
shadows?
girl.
The girl? It's the girl?
Yeah. The girl in the kind of like Victorian-ish kind of clothes and yeah. Looks a little bit like a creepy haunted doll, but a person.
Where did Wednesday Adams come from?
This is Amelia. She's my friend. She was helping to hide us when the husks came.
The what?
Yeah, Colonel Bravo, can you show yourself to him if you can?
Honestly, I think you might want to introduce Billy first.
Oh, Billy, is this Theo?
Billy looks at him. And at this point, Bradley looks 1000% scared. Like, I mean, the kid is just like, he's not having a good day. He watched Amelia pop out of the shadows. He heard a big, booming, deep voice coming out of nowhere. He watched you appear. It's clear he's been attacked by somebody, and now he's face to face with this giant. Billy does not look good. Again, I want to point out, Billy smells like rubbing alcohol, sweat, and blood. Billy looks like he has been through the Tet offensive about 9 times.
This is Billy.
Masterson?
Yeah.
That's him.
You know him already, don't you, Bradley?
The two of them look at each other. And Billy just kind of like kneels down because Billy is very tall and very big. And he's like, "Oh man, you are Theo's kid, huh? You got his eyes. Yeah, and a very strange thing happens. You realize that Billy Masterson is crying. And he takes this kid and basically grabs him and hugs him tighter than he's hugged anything else.
Oh, Billy, he's hurt
he's injured.
too.
Oh, sorry. I just, your dad made it out.
But he sent you back.
Theo made it out. Yeah, my dad recommended I work here. When I get home, if I get home, I'm gonna kill him.
Colonel Bravo, can you medkit him?
Oh, yes.
And at this point, I will materialize. Please have a seat.
Oh, you are kidding me right now. There's no way.
Yeah, he is kind of famous. I know. Did you used to watch it too?
There's a 7-foot tall man in military fatigues carrying what looks like 9 bazookas having an orgy. Are you kidding me?
What's an orgy?
Oh, good. You know what a orgy is, Dorothy Mae Cooper. And stop being such a pissant.
Sit down. Let me see what I can do. And I will begin
Dorothy is what
treating
my
him.
mom would call worldly.
Your parents sound like peaches.
Dorothy is what I would call a pain in the ass.
Yeah, well, this pain in the ass is going to try and keep you alive, so deal with it.
That's fantastic, and I'm very, very happy.
Do you know where the blasting caps are in the cabin?
The blasting caps? What are you talking
Dynamite,
about?
detonators.
Why would there be dynamite in a cabin?
Yeah, we're on an
What?
evil anthill, and the queen is pissed, and we got to blow her up before she eats more people and makes them husks. It's a thing.
Yeah, she's gonna have a counterattack any second. Isn't that right, Colonel Bravo? That's what you said. So they're gonna counterattack, and so you gotta stick with us, Mr. Bradley, or else you're gonna be in trouble.
It's just.
How did you get injured, Bradley? As I begin trying to look at the wound and address it.
Brittany?
Brittany?
What
So
did she
maybe
do?
she is the queen.
I don't know. Well, I went. Okay, so I went to go to where I keep my stuff. The camp counselors, we've got lockers back. I have, things that I've kept there, care packages from home, that kind of thing. My dad sent me something, care package. I just didn't have a chance to open it yet.
Maybe it's something important, like real important. Is it?
I mean, it's right here.
Ooh.
Well, it's in the cabin because I'm assuming you guys are dressing his wounds back up at
the cabin.
The Slappy Salmon cabin. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Underneath the bed, it sort of fell under there when she and I scuffled.
You give me permission to open your legal mail.
Dorothy, I'm bleeding and everything is horrible. Yeah, just open it.
Wow,
Cool.
Dorothy, that's so official. I'm really impressed with you.
Yeah, and there wasn't a time limit on it.
You guys crack it open, and there is a lovely little letter. Looks like a handwritten letter from Bradley's dad, along with an old faded picture of the Wayward Five. And Colonel Bravo, this is something that you'd be familiar with, an old military surplus key. It looks like the key to a military issued footlocker.
And we're going to need that to get into the grenades.
Why does my dad have a grenade key? Why are there grenades? Can somebody please explain to me what's happening right now, please?
Your dad's the one that got out.
The only one who escaped from the Wayward Five. Well, other than Billy here.
I've been stuck here running damage control for the last 20 years. Just
so, I think
With all likelihood, once Theo was of age, he sent you back here, hopefully to meet you, Billy, and has sent the methodology we need to stop this.
Yeah, I mean, maybe your dad knew that we were going to be here and that you would be able to help us. Do you have a friend too?
Uh,
An
I mean, I
entity?
thought I had an entity. At this point, Woody pops up behind him.
Something like us.
Mm,
Or Amelia? Or
Why-
Colonel Bravo?
Dorothy Mae Cooper. Is it blood loss or is there an axe that it's talking to me?
There's an axe that's talking to you.
Does the axe
I-
have a face tattoo or is that also just?
He's an honorary Slappy Salmon member.
I did mention that it would be hard for him to find a job with a face tattoo, but then I realized he's an axe, so it doesn't really matter.
And you're being bandaged by a 7-foot cartoon character.
When you were a
Keep that in
kid,
mind.
was there ever an imaginary friend that you swore was real and all the adults told you they weren't?
I mean, I didn't have one, but we used to go on a lot of picnics. My dad and I. And I swear sometimes I used to goof around with my dad and we'd play this game where I'd make the picnic basket lid flap and I'd say it was talking. My dad would do, I mean, he was a really good ventriloquist. He would do this voice, didn't even sound like him, made it sound like it was coming from the basket.
That was his friend.
Oh, this is just more questions than anything else. Thank you, giant cartoon man. Do you have a name?
Colonel Bravo,
Colonel. Pleasure.
Really nobody
National
watched the show.
Terrorist Prevention Organization, at your service.
Bradley, Slappy Salmon leader.
No, he's the leader of the Slappy Salmons. Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Colonel, what rank am I technically?
Lieutenant junior grade.
Yes.
I'm a lieutenant. And he does this thing where he like jumps up in the air and his feet start kicking so quick he hovers for a couple seconds.
I'm a lieutenant.
Not to like intrude on your private mail or anything, but I'm gonna read your letter.
Oh yes.
It is essentially the map that you guys had. It's doesn't explain everything, but it does give you a very brief synopsis of the things that you all have sort of figured out up till now. Along with a PS note that just says, I know he looks scary, or I know he can be a lot, but trust Billy Masterson.
Oh, Billy, he remembers you.
So
he never
does.
forgot you.
Huh. So he does. That's so nice.
I think your dad needs to pay for anything you want when we get out of here alive for sending you back here. Just twist that knife as much as possible.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can definitely hang that over him for a while.
Oh, I'm getting a Corvette.
Yep.
And I'm going to be out late as I want, like forever.
Also, Brittany might be the queen to the evil anthill, and you canoodled her. So
Oh, that's
get
great.
checked.
Yeah, because the scariest thing that's happened is I've made out with a monster. It's definitely not the everything else.
We all have our different levels.
That's
Can
fair.
we find the blow up stuff
N-
now?
But the good news is you didn't like go to fourth base or whatever with
Alden.
her.
I think they did.
No,
Oh.
I mean, we didn't. She wanted to. It just seemed really sudden, really soon. I'm starting to feel a lot better about that decision.
No.
Nobody should feel
You've been
pressured
here-
to do anything they're not ready for. Also, again, grenades, please.
You've been here 3 years, correct?
Yeah, this is my third summer. Nothing like this happened.
Do you remember going home in between those summers?
Oh,
Oh no.
Not. I mean, kind of. It's a little fuzzy.
what's the date on the letter?
84.
4 years. I'm like, well, whoa, let's not bring that to his attention. I just look at Dorothy and I'm like,
Okay.
Am I missing? Am I
Well-
missing? Like, does the rest of the world think I'm gone?
You weren't on a poster? I don't.
We found you.
Probably because Theo didn't report you if he knows what's going on.
Or the timey-wimey stuff, and no time has passed at all outside, and you've only been gone for a month for them.
Oh, I hate
Or-
this place so much. I'm gonna get a regular job. I'm gonna work at a burger joint or a drive-in or something.
Solid choices. Keys.
Oh, just take it. You and Amelia remember that the cache of grenades is located essentially in a big giant, is located about 5 feet away from the cabin.
Oh, just in a hole.
It's under the ground, so I don't. Depends on how you like to dig it up.
Digging.
No, that's easy. Colonel Bravo always has his backpack full of anything that you might need.
And I'm here to materialize out of the infinite backpack several shovels.
I mean, I ate like 40 people recently. Do you think that y'all can do digging?
Yeah.
He needs to, well, both of them need to rest. I'll do it. Or actually, hang on. Reaches into the backpack for a second, pulls out a mini backhoe and sets it down.
Yes.
Billy looks at
Oh.
you and just smiles. I was just gonna say, could we get some heavy machinery?
I kept begging my mom to buy me that for years. But she was like,
Yes.
"Oh, for $30 is too much to spend on a mini backhoe at the toy store." Well,
I'm glad for that crossover episode with the converters.
yeah, it wasn't my favorite, but
Can I get in my bag and like get out like peanut butter crackers and snacks and stuff and like make everybody eat a snack?
Yes. That's a good call. Very important to make sure we have a balanced meal.
I mean, they're the bright orange crackers with peanut butter in them. I don't know how balanced this is, but it's food.
Dorothy, at this point, as long as it doesn't kill me, I'm gonna call it balanced.
No, that's fair. I have gummy bears too.
Those would be lovely too.
Yeah.
He takes a handful of them and then he extends the gummy bears to Amelia. Do you want some gummy bears, scary gothic child?
I'm okay. I'm still my tummy's a little upset from eating earlier.
Oh,
And I don't really need food the way. Thank you. What I'm trying to say is thank you, but no thanks.
yeah, you're welcome. Do you have a name? I feel bad calling you scary gothic child. I mean, you are scary gothic and child, I think, although I could be wrong.
It's Amelia.
That's fantastic. Lovely to meet you, Amelia. Love the slappy salmon pin. Oh, this hurts. You guys managed to excavate the giant case with the backhoe.
Yeah, there's just the montage of me working with the backhoe, pulling the dirt up, putting it off to the side, pulling the dirt up to the side, then hitting the outside of the bunker, getting out, moving inside, digging out the rest by hand. Muscles are glistening and sweating as the dirt goes flying before I ask for the key to open up the locker.
All right.
Or the
You
bunker.
Are you opening the locker?
Yeah.
All right. Inside is glycerin powder, blasting caps, stable plastic explosives, detonators for the stable plastic explosives, and several what look to be German issue World War I stick grenades.
This
Ah,
seems
plastic.
dangerous.
I'm like, wow, this is really real looking.
I'm gonna put a grenade in my back pocket. It's fine. Just go with it. How do we use the rest of this, Colonel Bravo?
Well, let's see here. Well, with this, which, and I'm keeping the C4. This one we need to put the blasting cap and otherwise into it. Otherwise, during the rest of the time, it is completely unnerved. Now that you need to get yourself a good throw going because you want to pitch that larger piece at the end to be going as far away from you as possible. they're good, but
Whoa.
not always clumsy. Now for this stuff, this one we're going to have to be a little more careful because depending on the age of this nitro, it's a little more volatile. But again, until we put the blasting cap in, and then we're going to need something to light this on fire, at which point I will materialize a metal lighter. Then we light this on fire once it's on in the dynamite and run. We just need to make sure, again, there's a long enough fuse for this.
Whoa.
Again, awareness
So
is your
cool.
friend.
And knowing is half
And-
the battle. Did I get it right? Am I worthy of my lieutenant status?
Yes, you are. Although we've got to work on the delivery a little bit more.
Okay, I'll work on it.
Okay. So we know we have explosives. We know the tunnel to go to. Is our plan just like go in the tunnel and blow stuff up?
Yeah, seems like it. Like
Okay.
we just go to the dining hall, find the tunnel, find the thingy, the fear, and then we blow it up, and that should solve all the problems.
As any good television show says it does. We
Mhm.
just need to make sure we strategically place it in the large and the best explosives in the places so that it collapses completely.
Feels like a good
Hopefully
American
not with
solution to
us
me.
inside.
Yeah, we don't want to be inside when it happens, though.
Oh, of
but-
course.
Well, I think we could take care of that, right, Billy?
Yeah. Although somebody should probably make sure Bradley doesn't, you know.
Well, then, I guess the
Well-
question is, Bradley, are you accompanying us or are you standing here and getting with our getaway vehicle?
Getaway vehicle? We're driving the backhoe out?
I was
No.
thinking hot wiring the bus.
Is there a bus or a? We have something.
I'm
You
not
can't
staying
be-
here by myself. Just he kind of like limps back over to the cabin and grabs that lever action cowboy rifle that he had from earlier.
Okay, that's legit.
I'm coming with you. Brittany and I have to have